you're here at Slim Jim Jammer's channel. That's right, baby. Today's video, we're taking an in-depth look at some of the gangs. That's right, from one of my favorite films out of 1979, Walter Hill's The Warriors.
Warriors, come out and play!
If you haven't seen the movie before, you should check it out. It's a little bit cartoonish, but also somewhat realistic. It's got a, weird sci-fi take on gangs in the late 70s. From the art design to the script to the authenticity of just, going through New York City on them subways. It's a good time. The movie has sort of become a cult classic now. One thing about the Warriors that has become so infamous, they have these unbelievably ridiculous gang designs.
Yeah, not just wearing blue and red like the old days, It's not, got a little extra.
What I'm going to do on today's episode is we're going to go through and actually talk about all of the featured gangs in the film, as well as gangs that were featured in the Warriors video game for the PS2, and gangs that were on the script but never really saw the light of day, yet were still included in the final script. To give it a little, maybe the universe a little more clout and a little more breadth. The first gang we'll get into, of course, you have to. I'm not gonna dance around it. We're gonna start off with the Warriors. No one is going to want to watch the movie if the protagonists, the main characters, don't have not only depth, but if they don't have substance. And the Warriors are full of that.
What's your bit? Are you doing a listicle? Or you...
Oh, so we're going to be rating all of the different gangs from the Warriors, and I'm not going to do a classic numerical rating system because that shit is boring, We're going to do a little extra. What we're going to do is we're going to equate all of the ratings in the way you would rate something that is sort of ubiquitous, that everyone can truly understand. Well, what the rating system is actors that have portrayed Batman. Some people would say that this is up to personal opinion as far as how good they are, but that's ridiculous because we all know it's some people were good at playing Batman and some people weren't. And Batman is a checkered capitalist character, but he did have a awful childhood trauma, so we'll give it a pass. The top rating of the system will be Michael Keaton. He's the top rank number, and all of the very top ranked upper echelon gangs in the Warriors will be in the Michael Keaton bracket. Michael Keaton could have all the subtleties of Bruce Wayne with the intensity of Batman without being able to move his neck in the costume. So we gotta give Michael Keaton a little credit. Plus Michael Keaton is a very small, sort of diminutive man. Definitely he brought it. I don't think anyone ever was watching one of the old Batmans, around the early, 1990 and was just
Who was this guy? The guy that played Beetlejuice as Batman?
After we go from the Michael Keaton bracket, we're gonna hit up the Val Kilmer bracket. Not the greatest, but it did the job. It's just something about it. It was cut and dry, and everyone was contented, There was something there. The next level beneath that, we have Christian Bale as Batman. I don't necessarily agree with him as being sort of this middle number, but I sort of have to rate him this way because of the people who are below him. Christian Bale, great at playing the jerky Bruce Wayne, awful as Batman, mostly because of that terrible Batman voice he did. Where is she? Beneath him is George Clooney Batman. He was just George Clooney in a Batman outfit. I feel like I was watching George Clooney at a Halloween costume party for rich people. And then his bat costume had nipples, which the whole internet and everyone has been upset about for a long time because we kind of all want a little bat milk. But coronavirus makes us a little wary of it. So the very bottom of the ranking system is Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is Batman. Yeah. Ben Affleck is anyone. Even Ben Affleck just walking down the street is not great. There was a riotous, thing on the internet about how awful he would be. And then when it did happen, it wasn't any better. No one was just
you know what? That Ben Affleck really can act. I take it all back.
You're mean. Alright, so we have our system. Keaton, Kilmer, Bale, Clooney, Affleck. So we're starting out with the Warriors. This is the titular gang. Coming out of Brooklyn, I'm already biased. Coney Island. We have the imagery. They've got the whole theme park, the beach, there's the feel. Costuming. First Americans or tribal American garb. And then the rest of the gang is sort of themed in that way. Cleon's role is war chief. And when Cleon gets a Swan, who is considered to be warlord, is going to take over. Also Cochise, the character. That's the thing. I should look up who he is, for real though. When it comes to every one of these street gangs, all the street gangs seem to have a different sense of morality. There's no rationale for why one gang might be acting one way versus another, but it's obvious that certain gangs are more aggressive than others, and that they might have like a different moral compass. And the Warriors seem to have a compass that is, if they don't have a sense of honor compared to the gangs, they absolutely have a sense of pride. The gangs are usually not leaving their local area. The big citywide truce that goes on in order to have this large meet, they say, hey, we're able to go to other areas of the city we would not normally be able to go to. So while we're there, why don't you just do a little graffiti on the wall and kind of show guys what's what? You know, when it comes to gang morality, aside from just predisposition to like to want to be violent when they go out, Ajax thinking about just, wasting some heads on the way, as well as when they first meet Mercy, they're absolutely not good guys.
They are the title cast.
They are the top. They are the top ones, and that's it. I have to give the Warriors a Michael Keaton. I'm all with that, If they didn't get a Michael Keaton, why would I want to watch this movie? It could have been called The Gangs of New York. Did they do that movie? Was that a thing? Leonardo da... That is absolutely one of the reasons why people keep coming back to the movie. The dynamism of the gang, how divisive it is, and how when you do support them, you do sort of feel, am I totally right in this? Maybe they're more righteous than other people in this film, but it's not necessarily cut and dry or black and white. The next gang we're going to be rating is the Riffs. Yeah, right! You'd think I'd go protagonist, antagonist for the second one, but it ain't so simple. The Riffs, they play the role of the authority that is not the law. So obviously one of the big antagonists of this film is the police department. And the catalyst for the plot is all of these, poor inner city children trying to get a nut in the city. They're being oppressed by the authority and the police department mostly. And the leader of this gang is Cyrus. Basically his gang, who kind of has a classically like kung fu 1970s blaxploitation theming, the Gramercy Riffs. So the Riffs themselves, they are not emotive. Never in the film do you see any Riff smile. They're pretty resolute. There's a militaristic sense, a huge amount of discipline, and they absolutely seem like they are resolved. Their infrastructure is large. The fact that they set up this huge meet in which they managed to contact 24 gangs. When you see their second in command going down to address the rest of the Riffs, they have a whole garage. He comes down in like a service elevator. Like there's a lot going on. In the Warriors video game, where they give you a little more context to like how strong the gang is, you guys are out fighting at like a bar. That's your headquarters. I know in the film they didn't really talk about that, but the Riffs are big time. They also have the influence of this voice, this woman who they're speaking to that is giving orders out to the rest of the city in order to like pinpoint where the Warriors are and go after them. They're incredibly organized. The Riffs are a totally black organization. They're hegemonic. While the Warriors do seem as though they are trying to enjoy themselves and like the gang life is one that they relish, the Riffs definitely have more of a Black Panther mentality where it's like they are in it for a mission and there's a reason why they're in a gang. So if we have to then rank the Riffs, we're going to give the Riffs a Michael Keaton ranking as well, just like the Warriors. They're super fucking cool. We'll bleep that or something, so maybe one day I can get monetized. Pretty legendary, I have to say. The Warriors are classic, but they're so cool. That's going to move us to the main antagonist of the film, the Rogues. Early punk, biker kind of feel to them. This is a white gang. They're the opposite. Luther calls the shots. He's questioned constantly, and sort of he has to assert his dominance back over the gang. And he does that with being overtly aggressive, striking other members of the gang, assumedly afraid of the violence that he causes. They see him cause violence to other members of other gangs, and they fall into line behind him. So anarcho-fascist thing. There's something missing as far as why they do what they do. Steal earlier in the film, there's an assumption that other gangs would steal. There's no explicit showing of any other gang in the film that actually thieves from anyone. And not only do they steal, they blatantly steal in front of that young girl at the newsstand. And then when she catches them stealing, why should I care? I'm doing this as, to buck the system, and who are you to tell me not to? So what rating are we going to give to the Rogues? We're going to have to give the Rogues a Val Kilmer, I think. The Rogues are good villains. There's something missing as far as the motivation. I probably would give the Rogues a Christian Bale, honestly, but the thing that really brings them up from being just like these, the jerky bad guys who are causing mischief and problems of the whole film is the most famous scene in the film, probably, where the actor, he does the classic "Warriors come out and play," and that he gets a whole level up for that. That's a whole fan favorite. The Baseball Furies. I dressed as a baseball fury for Halloween. Amazing, I know. Makeup done by an aspiring makeup artist at my college. And I had to give them source material because they'd never seen the Warriors before. And when I told them that I wanted to essentially be a baseball clown, they didn't know what I was talking about. It's hard to describe to someone that hasn't seen the Warriors why they're so awesome. They're great. Something about it. There are actually people, and I will link in the description to their Instagram, who just dress up as the Baseball Furies and go to different events and just try to act goofy and menacing. It's literally just baseball playing. Guys in baseball uniforms with clown makeup. And they're from the Upper West Side. Even the name Baseball Furies, it just makes me happy. I guess it's just something that's just so cheesy about it. It's like, what's scary about a clown with a baseball bat and a baseball uniform? And you're like, I guess the baseball bat is the scary part. I don't want to get hit with a bat. And this guy, if he's crazy enough to just rock this makeup, maybe there's a few screws loose. And I don't want to test it. I don't want to see where this is going to go. As they don't have any lines in the film. Do seem very aggressive. And they bat up, get the bats. I guess it's just rating time. Baseball Furies. I'm Michael Keaton. There's a lot I'm giving the top rating to. I guess I'm just kind of going in the order of importance in the film. And we will see that many of these other gangs they'll fall off in importance and quality as we get down the ratings. Don't worry that there's a lot on the top right now, because things are about to get dumb. So the next gang up is the Orphans. And the Orphans are the bum, raggedy gang that wears t-shirts that they printed themselves, and there's maybe 30 of them. They don't have much going for them. They're immediately considered to be disrespected by the Warriors. They're not intimidated by these people. They're not incredibly tough. So, if you take your colors off, you can go to our area. Look at us in the paper. Really trying to be tough and trying to be thugs and gang members, and they just don't really have it. So the Warriors are, this really hard gang that's considered to be one of the best, and the Orphans are sort of like the antithesis of that. They are really, really wanting to be everything the Warriors are, and they truly aren't. So if we're going to have to give a rating now on the Batman actor rating scale, I'm going to have to go ahead and give the Orphans a Val Kilmer. Really great, but just how weenie they are. The fact that they are crafted around being lame is something that's going to knock them down from a top spot. So there's really only a few more gangs that get true screen time as far as other than the main big meeting with Cyrus. We're going to run through them quickly, and I'm going to rate them quickly. And then after we get through that, I'm going to get through the gangs that just appear on screen, don't necessarily have any basis in the storyline other than possibly mentioned by Cyrus in the meeting. And then after that, I'm going to run through all the gangs that were just listed in the script, and you don't even have a concept of what they look like. And we'll go purely off the name, and then we'll see, how do you get rated in the Batman scale. I think I'm going to write it down. I have to know what scale I get rated. Next up is the turnbull ACs. Turnbull ACs are seems like a skinhead. They are up around Van Cortlandt Park. They seem incredibly menacing. The Warriors flee from them. They're all jacked up, and they're hanging all over the vehicle. We're just going to go out and rate them right away. Fun and menacing, great. There's a lack of depth there. I don't know where that name came from, Turnbull ACs, and maybe that's the only reason why. I would have given him a Clooney, but the name Turnbull ACs, there's something strange and creative about it. So we're going to give him a Christian Bale. We're going to put him smack dab in the middle. And maybe that's where they get a little more screen time. Then you have the Lizzies. The Lizzies seduce the Warriors. They don't have any sort of gang outfit. There's no uniform. They, in my mind, just looked like a group of 70s women. Seemed like a little butch. My father, who grew up in that time period, telling me one time, "Oh my God, women when I was your age, they only wore pants, never wore a dress. What was that? Women's lip." Ah. He had the classic male toxicity. The all-female gang that has got guns and seduces you into the clique. I think it's pretty cool. I like the concept. I don't feel like it's incredibly original, so we're going to go ahead and give them a Christian Bale right across the middle. You got the punks. This is the gang that comes after the Warriors. The guy on roller skates in the subway, where they're wearing overalls and rugby shirts. This gang would seem like a bro-y kind of college football. They sort of look like Dixie's Midnight Runners. I do love how strangely menacing the guy is on on roller skates. It's the 70s, it's the rollerblades, but like, rolling around. I'm after you. It's weird, it's creepy, it's a fun sequence. But we're not rating that guy and how awesome and creepy he is when he rolls around. We're rating the gang itself. Their outfit is dumb. I don't know if they hang out in the subway. If they were all on roller skates, maybe I would give them a bigger pass. But it's seemingly just the one guy, and the rest of the gang is trying to be intimidating, looking like they're a Cabbage Patch doll. If we're gonna have to rate the punks as a whole, as a gang, we're gonna have to give them a Ben Affleck. Bottom rank. Because it's just dumb. That's the third. So we're gonna go quickly through. We'll give them a quick rank in the movie. Really, it's a single sequence, or really two sequences. There's like the going to the meeting, then the meeting, and you see guys at the meeting. Meeting gets broken up. They go hunting the Warriors. This is like the only time you see a vast majority of the gangs. It's probably a 15-minute sequence, if that, where they have a huge amount of extras dressed in a lot of wild costumes that are truly like the lifeblood of the film. One of the first ones they show is the Boppers. This is the gang from Harlem, sort of like a classic pimp kind of look, called the Boppers, from Harlem. I dig it. That's going to be a Val Kilmer off right out of the gate. That's pretty solid. I think it's been done, but you kind of need it, You get the Hurricanes. Hurricanes is the rival of the Boppers. They are from, not Harlem, they're from a Spanish Harlem, El Barrio. It's sort of basic, I don't know. Oh, wow. Gang of Latin people wearing Latin hats and shirtless. What are we, like chilling around a barbecue? It's just like they didn't try hard. The Hurricanes, even, I get it. Oh, Hurricanes come to the Caribbean. I don't know. Maybe I'm over-judging now because I'm involved at a personal level. I'm gonna give that a George Clooney. It's not quite the bottom, but you guys are strugs, my guys. Strugs. The hi-hats? Yes. This is a reason why this film is famous. because of gangs like this. It's a gang of all mimes, like the clown gang before, the baseball clowns. There's an intimidating, like one intimidating shot of a bunch of mimes looking like, oh, what it is. I'll put you in a box and then I'll tie you up with a rope. But it'll all be in my mind and you'll have to just play along. It's amazing. I think it was probably Walter Hill trying to say, hey, look, like, this isn't a serious film. Please don't think this is a serious movie about gangs. There's a gang of mimes. And mimes are never threatening. So I remember when I did first see the mimes, seeing this film for the very first time, it might have excited me more than almost any other, like, gang I saw right away. It was just like, no way! This is so dumb! And that dumb stuff is just amazing sometimes. So we're gonna have to make that Michael Keaton range. I mean, that's just, whoever thought of that?
Oh, you guys are a genius. It's so good.
Electric eliminators, some bunch of bros wearing yellow bomber jackets. Right? Clooney. Forgot to say, hi-hats are from Soho. That mime gang is from Soho. Great writing. Thank you. Saracens. Bored already? Sorry, you guys didn't try it all. Like,
We're the gang that wears all tank tops. No sleeves. If I see a guy with sleeves on my turf, he's gonna get jabbed.
that's Affleck level. The Jones Street Boys. I had to go do some research to figure out who they were in the film. They're the guys that wear Bumblebee t-shirts. Pretty dumb. Jones Street Boys. It's very Hardy Boys-esque, so that's gonna be another Affleck. That's bottom of the barrel. The Savage Huns. Can't hate it as much. I'm so goofy about doing it. So we're gonna McClooney on that. The Satan's Mothers and their bikers appear in one shot apparently. Satan's mom. We're gonna give that another Affleck. Not memorable. Boyle Ave Runners. This is like literally the Saracens with red piping. The costume people are having a field day at this point. Another Affleck. The Moon Runners. I love it. You see them for like one shot and they were like stuck right out. Genius. Moon Runners, I'm gonna give, they're absolutely a bail. Middle of the road. Like, don't know much about them, but I want to know more. Van Cortlandt Rangers. Like a mini gang, mafia, Latin situation. There's something. I'm not knocking you at the bottom. We'll give him a Clooney. We'll give him a little. The Panzers, this is the all-black army, like Black Panther-esque. See them for a shot too. I'm a bit intrigued. It made me go like, ooh, like, these guys seem like they got a little, there's something more. Why are they named after a German tank? I'm gonna give them a Clooney as well. The Gladiators, now this is the gang that pays for the subway. If anyone has seen this movie and really knows, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They get tokens to go to this meeting, and it's like one of the most hilarious and ridiculous parts of the film because they are the most polite gang around. I want to give them a bail. Why? Why are they paying? Why are they paying for the train? You're in gang colors. It's if the cops see you in this film, the moment they saw gang members, they were trying to attack them, trying to arrest them. So keep paying. All right, guys, we're in the home stretch. We're going to go through all of these final gangs who weren't necessarily in the film's name basis. We're going to rate them. Let's just see how we do. Alley Cats. Let's give that a bail. Nah, that's a Clooney. Amsterdam All-Stars. That's a Clooney. The Black Hands. That's a Clooney. The Black Jacks. That's an Affleck. The Big Trains. That's an Affleck. What are you talking about? The Charlemagnes. Kind of like that. This guy's throwing the history at you. I'm going to give those a bail. The Charlemagnes. Like, I want to know more. The Colt 45s. I'm bored. Affleck. The Dealers. It seems like you're trying, but I'm bored. Affleck. The Delaney Rovers. This is 1940s. Affleck. The Dingoes. And apparently this is a gang of all gay gang members that was cut from the film in which the Warriors were going to have an interaction with them, maybe similar to the Lizzies. The name Dingoes is a gay gang. I sort of hate it, but I do like the idea of there being a gay gang. So we're going to give them a Clooney. The E Street Shufflers. That's really intimidating. It was the Shufflers. They came from E Street. Affleck. The Easy Aces. Affleck. The 8th Avenue Apaches. So we're appropriating this culture. Affleck. The Fastballs. Love baseball, but Affleck. The 5th Street Bombers. Oh, we're getting creative now. Affleck. The Fillmores. We already know. Big A. The Fire Tasters. Affleck. The 5 Points references the original area that, like, the movie Gangs of New York actually appeared in, so we're gonna give that a bail. Let's jump it up. The Gerards. There's probably a reference there I'm not getting. We'll give them a Clooney for that, because I gotta do research. Oh no, the Go-Hards. I like the Go-Hards.
We're the Go-Hards. You want to join the Go-Hards? Come on, baby.
That's a B.
For bail.
The Gun Hill Dancers. In the musical version of the film, maybe. We'll give them a C because it's just silly. The Homeboys, quite original. We'll give them a C. The Hoplites, like, I like the Greek thing because this was all based on Greek. This, if you didn't know, the Warriors is based on an old tale of them trying to bring all the Greek city-states together. Hoplites, so I'll give them a C as well for that. The Howitzers, I don't know why they keep going back to this Nazi stuff. Great, Howitzer. A for Affleck. It sounds like it's great, but it's awful. The High Rollers, yeah, sure, I'm real impressed. The Hucks, the Imps, Affleck. The Jesters. If it was a gang based on the Joker in Batman Beyond, maybe. The Knockdowns.
I get knocked down.
The Knuckles.
You want to get a taste, baby?
I'll give him a C because it's just funny. The Locos. Yeah, it's just like, oh, we're trying to be inclusive. Nah. The Magicians. Nah. The Meatpackers. And the Meatpacking District. Nah. The Napoleons. Are they all short? I'm not feeling it. The Nickel Steaks. See, I don't know why. It's just like something weird. It's something weird about this reference. Like, it's the old days. The Nickel Steaks. I like that. We're going to see. Include it, baby. The Night Riders. No. The 9th Avenue Razors. Again, 9th Avenue Razors. 5th Avenue Bombers. Other Avenue Blotties. It just doesn't inspire confidence. The Phillies. The Plainsmen. Too plain for me. The Queensbridge Mutilators. It could have just been the Mutilators I would have put into it, but it's something about it.
I like your style. I like your moves. Keep mutilating. Keep eating bodies. Do what you do.
So we're gonna give them a B for bail. The Real Boys. This sort of seems like the gang that Pinocchio would join at the end of the movie. The Real Boys. And for that reason, we'll give them a Clooney. The Red Hook Shooters. It's just boring. Affleck. The Roadmasters. The Romans. The Runaways. The Saratogas. We're just getting into a situation now where every time I say one, I'm getting less enthused. So, like, if one doesn't come back soon, it's just going to be running the gamut of, like, Affleck. I'm going to feel like the duck soon. The Shanghai Sultans. I'm a little confused. When I was writing it down for my research, was like, who are we trying to appropriate right now? Very strange. So we're going to give that Clooney because it's fucked. The Southern Cross. No.
Seems like it's the gang you like.
It's like the minor leagues for the Ku Klux Klan. Ooh. The worst, Affleck. The Speedwagons. Trying to talk about the REO. We'll give you a Clooney just because we like the 80s. Did that band even come out yet? The Steve Doors, because of whatever that is a job. I don't know. You guys make butter? I don't know. The Stilettos for the knife.
Stilettos.
Or the shoes. Give me a C, Clooney. The Stonebreakers. The Terriers. For the dog. Woof woof. Affleck. The Turks. I kind of like it. Final Fantasy VII much. Clooney. The Whispers. Motown group. We'll give him a C because there's just something sexy about it.
Well, I'm part of the Whispers.
The Wizards. Give him a C. The Xenophones. The Xenophobes, more like it.
Ooh.
Affleck. The Youngbloods. Sounds like a gang. Give him a C. The Yo-Yos. Sorta love it, sorta hate it. Give him a C. The Zodiacs.
Don't mess with my sign, baby. Zodiac killer.
Affleck. Last but not least,
The Zulus.
seems appropriate. Hope not. Affleck. This took way longer than I thought, guys. We did it, though. We made it all the way through. Make sure that you hit the like button below. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, wherever that is. We're going to be doing a video every single week. It will not be reviewing Gangs of the Warriors. It'll be doing all sorts of weird things. Who knows what this channel will entail and where we'll go. Thank you for joining us here on
This most auspicious of nights in the quarantine.
This again is your boy Jimmy, the Slim Jim Jammer coming at you. We'll be back. We'll be back with more soon. So safe travels to wherever you're going. Stay, lovely. From my heart to yours. We love you guys.